Hi, good morning, my Bitcoin friends. So let's do a quick update on where things are with Bitcoin, and we'll do a quick recap of the last few days. Very exciting time for Bitcoin. I'm at DadiCryptos.com. You probably should be knowing this by now if you have been following me. So when you type in Dadi Cryptos, crypto.com, it will bring you to the Facebook page, and that's this page. Okay, so if you're new, I'll try to keep it brief. If you're new, you click on the sign up button. It will take you to Coinbase. This is how you get started. So this is an invite from me. So you put your first name, last name, email, choose your password, and do the sign up. You would get $10 free Bitcoin if you start with $100. Okay. Once you get started, you can see my videos, the prior videos. It talks about how to go from there. You can start with as low as $100 or even $500. Okay, and keep buying Bitcoins in increments. Don't worry about the price. Do dollar cost averaging. So keep buying Bitcoins at a fixed price or fixed intervals rather. My contact information. This is the site and the number. If you do want to message me, you use this message button and I'll get a message. Okay. So these are some of the postings. If you like what you see, that's my BTC donate wallet. Feel free to do that. I wanted to talk about this little chart here. So this shows the adoption of Bitcoin. This is actually the transactions that are waiting to be posted on Bitcoin. As you can see, it is there all over the US, right? And it's all over the Europe. This is Iceland. This is South America, Argentina, Brazil, Australia, China, Korea, Thailand, Indonesia. Okay. India, there's a little bit, but not a whole lot. This part of China has been pretty vocal about not allowing Bitcoin and currency. So you see the big blank in China and in Russia. Russia is also not, this is China, right? And this is Russia. So Russia is also pretty, it's not necessarily friendly to Bitcoin yet, okay? But Europe is, Europe and this part is probably the more advanced users and transactions of Bitcoin, followed by this. In the past few years, couple of years, US has also picked up, okay? So what's going on with Bitcoin? So this is the price trend of Bitcoin. This was earlier from the morning. I think it was about an hour back I posted. So Bitcoin is roughly around this 7. It's actually come down a bit. I'll show you the real time prices. It's around this 6. It's between these two, 7.6 and 7.7. So it touched all-time highs of 8,000, as you can see here. This little line here. Then there's a minor correction, and correction is always good for Bitcoin. You need corrections. Unlike stocks, Bitcoin corrects pretty quickly, so you're not in for a surprise. So for example, what I mean by that is Bitcoin was at its all-time high here. Earlier high was 7,800, and quickly there was a sell-off and some correction, and then again it went up to 7,900, and there was a big correction. There was a lot of sell-off and profit taking till about 5,700, which is actually good for Bitcoin because, as you know, anything that goes up needs to come down before it goes up again, and that's what it's doing. And I'll show you what I mean by stocks in a moment. Dow Jones keeps going up; it's never coming down. So when it does come down, it will come very, very, very drastically. Okay. That's the difference between this trend and what Dow Jones is doing right now. So uh, it is a positive, healthy sign of trading. That's all I'm trying to say. I know you keep hearing about Bitcoin is a bubble, but if you get into the details of Bitcoin, you know why it does what it does. Okay, so it may come down slightly till probably here, and the live prices will show up before it goes back up. Okay, so this is where the altcoins are. The altcoins are the ones other than Bitcoin. Okay, so as you can see, Bitcoin was in the negative 1% because it hit all-time highs of 8,000. It's come down a bit. BCH cash, which is like a hedging to Bitcoin, that's gone up 20% because it was at $1,000 yesterday and it's gone up to 1,200. Actually, right now it's around 1325. Ethereum is doing reasonably okay. Neo is the Ethereum in China, and it's gone up close to 50%. Right, it was in the 20s, and right now it's trading around the 42. Litecoin was up yesterday. I'll cover these more in detail, and today does. So most of these altcoins also they go up and come down, which is actually healthy. I know people keep saying they lose. It is pretty volatile. Okay, going up 10-20% in a day and coming down 10% is pretty common in cryptos, unlike the stocks, which always seem to be going up. Okay. And this is from Bitfinex. These are the different exchanges with different prices of Bitcoin in Asia. So feel free to look at that when you have a moment. So as you can see, the trending is good. Right. So there is a coffee machine, and okay. So I'm also enjoying my Starbucks coffee. It's morning, roughly 8 o'clock, 8:30 my time. Okay. So, and if you are in Asia, good evening to all of you. Okay. So this is Bitcoin. This is what I was referring to earlier. So when Bitcoin was low at 6,000 last weekend, Friday or so, this zoomed up to like 1,400. Then when Bitcoin started to raise from 5,500 to 8,000, this came down to about 900. And from 900 it took off, and right now it's around 1,200. So that's what I meant. This Bitcoin Cash, which is BCH, which is a fourth coin of Bitcoin, it is different than Bitcoin. Okay, so don't get confused between Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. So they're both kind of hedges against one another. So right now it's trending up because Bitcoin from 7,900 is now at 7,600. Okay, so that's what's going on with Bitcoin Cash. So this is this is Litecoin. Litecoin, if you're familiar with Litecoin, you know that it was hovering around this $54 for a long time. Then it shot up to 60, 61, came down a bit to about 60, and yesterday it touched 72 because there was some news about lightning protection, lightning and all that. Lightning speed was out there. So with that news, it went up, and then it came down, and it's now around the 67. Okay, you can see all this at my site, which is what I'm looking at, which is daddycryptos.com. Okay, so let's look at the live pricing. So the live pricing of Bitcoin is out here. So right now Bitcoin is around this mark 7673. Okay, so this is I'm in the 5-minute candle. So in the 5-minute candle, it it is between 7745 and 7657. It's in this $100 band. Okay. Earlier in the day, so this is when it touched the 8,000. As you can see, this is close to 7988. Okay. It touched this 8,000 around 6 a.m. Pacific time this morning. Since then there was profit taking, so it came down to about 7550. Then it went up a bit, and in the last 30 minutes or so, or last 2 hours actually, from earlier this morning, this is the morning trend. Morning it went up to 7800. Sorry, this was yesterday morning. Okay, I'm in the hourly calendar, so this is November 17th. Okay, so yesterday morning it touched all-time highs. Okay, $8,000. I think it's about 5.5 lakh in India. So if you are in India, I know a lot of you are watching me from India. These are all US times in dollars. So in India, this equivalent of 8,000 yesterday, it should be around 5.5. We'll look at the India pricing in a moment. And this morning, yesterday there was a Segwit 2x fork. That's one of the reasons it zoomed up from earlier lows of 7450 till this 79. That's one of the reasons, because whenever there's a fork on Bitcoin blockchain, there will be a new coin that comes, and everyone is expecting to get the new coins. The fork was yesterday morning, which was roughly around 6 o'clock Pacific time. The fork happened, but fork was not successful, meaning that there were no coins given away. So there was a drastic sell-off because of that. And there was so Bitcoin price should be around the 7677 right now, and that's where it is right now, because it came down from the fork. And this morning it went up to this 778, and right now it's hovering around this 7. It's I think for most of the day it probably will be between 777 and 75. So some of you from India asked me if there's any live trading. As far as I know, India doesn't have live exchanges. The ZPay and Coin, those are more like trading houses. They just buy and sell Bitcoins for you at a fixed price every day. So in the US and other places, we do live trading, as you guys know. Okay, hope I answered. There was one question someone asked me. Okay, so let's look at a longer term outlook. So this is kind of the weekly outlook. As you can see, Bitcoin last weekend was around this 5558. Okay, so these two little red lines show that there were some transactions that went all the way to 56. Okay, so if you were in Bitcoin last Friday or Saturday, you probably know what I'm talking about, because it came down from the previous highs. The previous highs was 7879. So this was a big sell off. Some profit taking was done. This is when that whole Segwit 2x was called off. You guys know what I'm talking about, those who are into Bitcoin. So it rallied up, and when the Segwit 2x fork was called off, then it came down drastically. So if you were lucky to keep track of this pricing and you were able to buy around this 5.8, then it rallied up from 5.8 all the way till 8,000. Okay, so right now it's, if you can see, there is a little